Light Show.
The Anthem Light
We're back. We are back. Episode 2.
Número 2.
You guys, the response to the first one was insane.
Amazing.
It was incredible. We charted in the top 10 of the music category on podcasts.
People have
so
spoken.
cool.
That's wild.
Turns out people care.
That was our first
cool.
episode. So anyway, I'm Spencer.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Chad.
I'm Joey.
We should every episode
Every time.
see if we can make it more and more ridiculous. Every episode.
Like harmony.
I like
it.
Get more
Dissonance.
crazy with it.
It's a great idea.
Eventually,
gotta give 'em
eventually
the
we're going to have
little run.
confetti falling.
Anthem Lights.
There it
Yeah,
is.
there it is. So it is time for an Anthem Lights update.
Anthem Lights update. We need like a little bulletin. Like,
Gotta have something.
breaking news.
Yeah, thank you.
So last Friday, when it comes to recent releases, last Friday we released Friends medley.
That's right.
Correct?
We
Yeah.
did. We released a
friend.
friend medley, which is part of our
You
class
got
of
a friend in
class
me.
of 2018 medley.
EP.
EP. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not part of the medley. It's part of the EP.
Yeah, it's part of the EP.
I'm new to this. Talking is hard.
Coming up, we're releasing A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman.
We've actually done everything from The Greatest
Yes.
Showman.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so we did a Greatest Showman medley. You did This Is Me in a medley. You did Rewrite the Stars with your wife. I did Never Enough with Kelsey.
I was a part of our Anthem Lights Greatest Showman medley.
Spence, where you
Spencer's
at, bro?
here today.
That's great.
Speaking of Greatest Showman, I know it's been out for a long time, but we've never really talked about this publicly. I loved this movie. What did you guys think of Greatest Showman?
It was so when I went and saw it with my wife. I was actually visiting family, and my mom wanted to see it, and I had no interest in seeing it. Just the commercials or the previews for it were just like I was like, it looks interesting. I might watch it one day if it comes out. And so we went and saw it, and just 10 minutes in, my wife and I were just like, "This is the best thing ever." And I'm a huge musical fan, and so it was I loved it. I was a big fan. So right away I text the guys. I was like, guys, we have to do a Greatest Showman medley. Trust me on this.
That's true. He actually
It's gonna
did.
be huge.
We blew up our
And now
phones.
we've done all of them, and yeah. So.
Yeah, words that come to mind: dazzling, mesmerizing, showy.
Showmanship.
Yeah, I just walked out of there. It might have been the first time that my wife and I both walked out of a movie both feeling the same way. Just felt a buzz of inspiration and just excitement about, dreaming big. And I don't know, it just made me feel good. And I think that's why people like it.
Yeah, so I was at a little bit. I feel like I didn't really give The Greatest Showman a full fair chance because right before I saw it, I had just seen La La Land,
No.
and don't mean to hijack.
Also
the
a great
conversation.
movie.
Anyway, La La Land is probably my favorite movie ever, and so I just saw that, and I was like, no musical can be as good as La La Land.
I don't know.
Expectations.
Yeah, so I had expectations in two completely different movies, even though same lyricist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same lyricist, but still two completely different movies, two completely different feels. So I went into it fresh off of this La La Land thing, but I still loved it, and it was still great. Yeah.
The guys all know I'm not the hugest.
I was about to say
fan
throughout
of-
this conversation,
hugest,
I don't know
the
if
biggest,
I don't know if you've heard Spencer moaning and groaning at every musical reference we're making, but this is why.
Yeah, I'm not a musical guy. It's never been my cup of tea. I appreciate it and can respect it, and the vocalists that are within musicals crush it. All the respect. It's just not for me.
That's
so
fair.
I went into The Greatest Showman. I heard the soundtrack before the movie, so I was kind of like, okay, this is a little different. It's more pop and upbeat, and I still was going in expecting all right, I'm just gonna get annoyed because they keep singing every 30 minutes, and my jaw was dropped. I walked out of the theater and completely inspired, like Caleb was saying, and it's honestly the only musical I've actually really thoroughly loved, and I want to watch it again. I've only seen it once, but I want to watch it
Same.
again.
Yeah, I need to go around too.
Yeah.
As well.
Bro,
We have it at the Grimm house on Blu-ray.
Movie
Oh, yeah, me
night.
too. It's owned. I've already
Honestly,
seen it 5 times since we've owned
What's
it.
the bearded lady's name?
What is her name?
Kayla.
Kayla Suttle, I
lady,
think.
Kayla.
Kayla Suttle or something.
Something like
She's
that.
incredible.
Anyway,
We should know this stuff.
her This Is Me performance I cried.
It's pretty incredible.
Real tears.
She kind of blew up after.
She did
that
kind
whole
of
deal.
blow up.
She was on like all
And
the
she
late night
deserves
shows.
it. Yeah.
I cried with the little kid singing. And then that whole scene of the movie from like the little kid kind of growing older with her.
She's really related to that
Dude.
character,
Dude,
the little kid.
I mean, it's only a couple years ago, so.
Okay, so that's the moment that hooked me. So the first opening scene was cool and exciting. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then it got to the scene with the little boy where he just like he was looking out over the water or whatever, and he started singing, and it was a little awkward. I was like, I don't know if that moment really landed because I just didn't expect him to start singing. But then when he hit the chorus, those lyrics, they were just so good that I was like, okay, I'm in. You got me. Take my money.
In every musical movie I ever see, the first part where they're just like having conversation and then all of a sudden they just start singing is always like, oh, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's a musical. Like,
Right.
This is what happens. It's normal. And then you get used to it and you're all in. I wish our lives were like that. I wish we could just be sitting in the office hanging out and all of a sudden I just break out in the song.
I'm pretty sure that's what our lives are currently. Weren't you just singing like 2 seconds ago?
That's true. I do that a lot. Yeah. Drives my wife crazy. Anywho.
Yeah. Speaking of being driven crazy, The Bachelorette is back.
The Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette.
Quality entertainment.
So my wife loves The Bachelor and Bachelorette. We've had many a conversation about this. I don't understand why, but that's okay. I like a lot of things that she doesn't understand. That's great. I look forward to this season because while she's watching Bachelor with her friends or Bachelorette, either one,
get it right, man.
I get to go play a video game or watch a movie or whatever. So it's it's great.
So The Bachelorette, it's one girl, right? And The Bachelor is one guy.
Is it 32? Is that the amount?
I don't know. You watch it.
I know. I didn't keep count.
You tell us.
No, I don't remember. But it's like 30 or 32 girls or guys.
Don't pretend like you don't know exactly how many guys
don't.
are on the
And
show.
all of their names.
It's like 32 and a half.
I don't, but I will say I am hooked.
Oh.
I've been watching it with my girlfriend, and we've dived in.
Okay, so
And respect, bro.
So are you
I
the
could
kind of
never do
person? Are you and Brooke the kind of people that like look on the internet to see who won?
So no,
So you can watch how it unfolds, or do you want it to be a surprise?
She was towards the back half of the past season, The Bachelor, where it was one guy and all the girls, and she at the very end of the season did that, and it bugged me because I like being surprised, and I like being surprised with the people around me. And when it's like watching a game that's been recorded. When someone knows the outcome, I get so upset because I'm like, you can't respond to anything that's going on right now because you know what's gonna happen, and I'm just left in the dark. So I'm really hoping she doesn't this time. But
Spencer's very passionate.
I'm passionate.
Don't ruin this for me.
No, if I'm gonna commit to something that has outcomes that are revealed each week, I don't want to be like in the know. I want to be experiencing it.
I've out for like 3 years. I watched with my wife. We were super into The Bachelor and Bachelorette, and haven't watched it for the past couple. And even while I was watching, I knew how ridiculous it was. I was making fun of it the whole time. At the same time, I was like, but I can't turn away.
Exactly.
And it's kind of
That's
how
what
it is. And like my favorite part is when these guys take out the girl on this like incredible, unrealistic, will never happen again in their lives date. And the girl is like thanking the guy for, thank you so much for doing this and for taking me on this date. And
Like he planned it all,
exactly.
paid
And
for
it's
it
like
all.
everybody knows, like, right? Doesn't everybody know?
It's like, you know, ABC
he
wrote
didn't
this
do this. He did not put those spotlights in every spot for
They make it pretty easy to fall in love, like moonlight walks in Paris, and
also like
which is
getting
why-
famous, being on a TV show.
which is why they never ever work when real life happens.
Yeah,
What's the percentage?
I don't know. I didn't look up these stats, but
It's 3 or 4 couples out of the
mind-bogglingly bad.
20-some seasons.
How many?
3 or 4 couples out of like the 22 or 3 seasons.
That's really bad. Okay, so if you just
That's
get
a very
married,
low
if
percentage.
you just
More
get
seasons.
married normally, the stats are like 50-50. You
And
got a
that's season
50-50
per
shot of
Bachelor,
making it work.
Bachelorette.
If you get married to someone on a show, it sounds like it's like what?
It's not working out. It's
like
not working out.
1.5%.
Like, really
Ari
bad.
and Lauren from the last season are actually still together, but it's early.
Give him time.
Yeah,
Give him
we'll
time.
see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Stay
The
together.
awkward eye look
Stay
around.
together.
Now, please, if you like this show, that there's no judgment. My wife loves it. It's great. It's fine. We all have our guilty pleasures. And like Chad said, it's kind of like when there's a wreck on the side of the road and you're driving by it and you know you shouldn't slow down. You know you should just keep going, but you just can't look away. It's like, that's what it is.
Once you're in, you're hooked. Just don't get
Yeah,
in. Just
I
stay
try-
away from the light.
I try and, give my girlfriend a hard time, but I play video games, which is the most ridiculous thing ever.
It's like, I'm going to go watch Star Wars. So
You watch The
enjoy
Bachelor.
that.
I know, ideally, I wish my wife was still into it, but she's not either. So
You watch The Bachelor alone.
I don't watch it anymore.
He's lying.
You missed that.
Spencer and Chad
I
watch
watched
it
for the
together.
last 2 years.
Chad and I watch it together every Monday night.
Just Spencer and I. His girl and my
we
wife
get
hang
together.
out.
We have a bracket we've made.
Oh gosh.
They watch The Bachelor as bachelors.
People actually do that.
No, yeah, we were going to for this season, but we didn't.
Wow. It just got deeper.
It did.
So
I'm gonna go on a
anyway,
laugh.
we win some, we lose some, and some get last episode, which was our first episode, we took some time and we answered the 3 most common questions that we get as a band, and we also put out an email address, anthemlights@gmail.com, and asked you guys to send questions to so we could answer them on the show. And you did send questions.
Sweet.
Which
That's
is always
awesome.
really encouraging when people like actually do what you ask of them.
I love when people do what I tell them to.
listening. So anyway, we're gonna take some time and answer some of those questions. Still working on the name, but I think Ask Anthem Lights is the obvious choice. Boring?
Snooze fest.
No?
How about
kidding.
they send in their names that they would like?
Okay, I like it.
Let them pick.
Yeah.
Let them
Email
pick.
us
Brilliant idea.
the name of
Guys,
the Ask Anthem Lights
So
segment.
to be clear, we're trying to name the segment of question and answer. So
Good
send
luck
us your-
beating Ask Anthem Lights. Just saying.
I'm just sitting on gold ideas, guys. I don't know.
What's the first question, Joe?
So the first question, we actually get a lot of questions about the process and how we go about choosing songs and recording them and shooting videos and everything. So we thought that we would take a couple minutes and just break down the process. Cool?
That's great.
Boys? Cool?
yeah.
Break it down.
Chad, break it down.
Well, the first process is, what song are we going to do? And a lot that changes depending on, sometimes we look at what's going on, in everyday life, and we're like, what's current right now? What could work right now? Sometimes it's just a song we love and we just really want to record, and sometimes it's we have a specific project in mind, like we've done a couple hymns and all that stuff, and yeah, it depends. It changes a lot.
Yeah, I feel like the idea, which is the first step in the process, is probably the most important, because we're a social media band, so we have to think of how we're going to market a song before the song exists. Like that needs to be part of the idea process, which is where Caleb shines.
Yeah, and I'll say real
thanks.
quick before Caleb comes in, and we throughout our careers have done a lot of just throwing crap against the wall and hoping it sticks. And
That has
with
been
songs,
our entire career.
that's been a big thing. Is we're like, well, we don't know if this will stick or not, but let's see. And a lot of times they don't, and sometimes they unexpectedly do, and sometimes we'll put something out where we're like, man, people are gonna love this, and it just flops. And sometimes we put something out where we're like, I don't think it's gonna do well, and it's just like, what? It's just hard to predict sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think from the infancy of an idea to what people see on Facebook and YouTube, there's probably a lot more happens than most people are even aware of. I think I had a list one time, like a checklist basically of all the things that had to happen from the idea to the final product, and there's like 24 different things we had to check off. But I guess the best way to kind of unpack this is to like look at an actual song. So The Greatest Showman, for example, it started with Chad going to a movie with his family. So that's an example of just being inspired by your life, like things that you interact with, people you talk to. Like the reason he probably thought it was a great idea, he loved the movie, but also watching his wife respond to it, watching his mom respond to it, whatever.
Which is why I will write that off as a tax write-off.
There you go. Research, R&D. So it starts with a text from one of us like, hey, boys, we need to do this. Okay, cool. So then the next day at the office, we sit down and we listen through the soundtrack. We're like, well, which songs are the best songs? What are the most compelling moments of this movie? And so we pick the 4 or 5 most, poignant moments, and we try to put those together musically, and that's where Joey really shines.
Oh, thanks, man.
And then we arrange it, and then we book a studio day, and we come up and we record it. And then while that's happening, we're talking to management and distribution, trying to gather licenses so that we can do this correctly and legally and not get in trouble. Then once we get the final product, we hear it back, and we're like, ooh, strings would be really cool. So then we send it off to strings, and our string guys add that to the track. And then once we have the final product, we can listen through it and decide, what is this supposed to look like? And so it's a musical. It's got strings. It feels big and classy. So we booked a space with a white grand piano, and so then we booked the hair and the makeup and the film guy and the venue, and we shoot it.
I'm getting stressed.
It's a lot. It's a
listening
lot.
to
And
all
all
these
this
steps.
happens in the span of 2-3 weeks. So there's a lot that's going on, but this is our job. Like we come to work every day and we do this. So that's how we're able to pull it all together. And I am so thankful. Like what a cool job.
And it's an incredibly different structure than most bands, who just do original music and like who are with labels and whatnot. And they they'll write for months and then they'll make a record for months and then they'll sit on it for months, and it's like a record every couple of years and they'll tour it. That's the basic structure. And for us, it's just like constantly putting out content, and we have a lot of content if you don't know a lot.
I think a lot of our music inspiration has also come from holidays. I think we did like a 4th of July medley kind of, where it's just a bunch of America songs, and that ended up being like one of our first viral things of me being a part of the band. And then we did the hymns mashup for Easter, and then that turned into a hymns album. So it like we pay attention to like popular days, current events, like they said, things that are just kind of like going on that we can kind of attach music to organically get a reach because people are in that mood or that festive attitude.
Yeah, that's Christmas, Mother's Day, graduation. Like Chad was saying, we just try to interact with what's happening in the world. Like, what are people thinking about? What are people talking about? And how can we be the soundtrack to that? Basically,
You can expect an Anthem Lights medley for about every holiday.
It's true.
So, moving on. Next question. Hannah Segrin wants to
Hannah.
know.
What up, Hannah?
Hannah, thank you for your question, by the way. How did we meet our significant others? Let's just swing around the horn here. I'll start. The horn.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, we're a
Swing
horn
ar-
now.
We're going to swing around the horn. That's what people say, right? That's the thing.
I've never heard it.
I have heard it, but I don't really understand it. Maybe we can get that question in another.
If you know where the etymology of the phrase "swing around the horn,"
The
drop it in
origin
the
of-
email along with your Anthem Lights Q&A section title.
hit us with that
suggestion.
around the horn origin story.
Anthem Lights Around the Horn. That's the question and answer section.
Oh,
Isn't that already a podcast name in ESPN?
Yeah,
Yep, it is.
who cares? We're still doing
We
it.
added Anthem Lights. That's what makes it
Still
different.
doing it.
we're covering that idea. That's
So,
what we do.
so I've been with my girlfriend Jewel for over 2 years, like 2.5 years now, and it's great. Good.
Nice. That's how you met?
How did you meet, Joey?
We
Hannah would
actually
like to know.
met at an Anthem Lights show. Yeah, she was a huge fan. I'm just kidding.
So cute.
No, it was actually a long time ago, probably like 6 years ago now, which is crazy. But anyway, she was at the show with some friends, and we met there and started talking. We played.
I was there for that.
Yeah, Chad was there. Caleb actually missed that show.
It was just me and you.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
It was your brother's wedding or something.
It was a wedding.
A wedding.
A friend's wedding. Or something.
Anyway, so we started texting back and forth. We played Connect 4 with emojis. It was adorable. And
Wait,
then
you
we
can do that?
Yeah, it was before these new fancy texting games where we just had to like make up our own games via text.
That's my mind's blown. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was Jules' idea. She's super creative. So anyway, we started dating. She lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. We dated for several months, and it was really hard being long distance. Respect anyone out there who's making a long distance relationship work, because it's tough. And we actually broke up after a few months because it was too hard, and we were both kids, and I had a lot of growing up to do. And so we broke up. We're broken up for a couple years, and then she was in Nashville for CMA Fest. We reconnected, and been together ever since. She's the love of my life.
That's awesome. And what's she up to today?
She is getting her nails done right now as we
Nice.
speak. She's obsessed with getting her nails done.
As is most women.
Yeah.
Next
As
week
are
on
most-
Anthem Lights podcast Q&A, we'll answer why he hasn't put a ring on it yet.
Ooh.
If you know me, you know that I don't do anything fast. Take my time.
6 years
through life.
later.
Nah, he's doing it. He's doing
I've
it
been
right. He's
drinking
doing
this
it right.
cup
He's
of
doing it
coffee
right.
since Monday.
Chad.
So I met my wife, Fallon. I met her, man. I've known her a long time. So I met her. I was 19. She was 15. Nothing happened yet. Okay. At that age difference, it's like she's too young to try to date or anything like that. I just remember seeing her for the first time and being like, that is a really attractive 15-year-old, I remember I did. I thought that. I was 19. It's not too weird. And so I thought that, and I got to know her family really well. Her cousin moved to Nashville with me, and that's how I met her and her family. And stayed close to her family for a couple years before I moved away and was gone for a few years. And I came back and kind of reconvened with her and her family. And at that point, I saw her, and she was with her boyfriend when I saw her again at the time. And she was 19, and I was 23.
A lot going on here.
Oh, there's a lot. She was 19 and I was 23, and I remember thinking like, oh, now she's old enough. Boyfriend means nothing, meaningless. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. And so fast forward, we ended up getting married 2013. Is that right? Yeah, we're almost in 5 years, and we've been married for almost 5 years now. Our 5 years coming up in October.
I feel like you skipped a whole lot.
Well, there's a lot to that story, but I'm just
Like, did you
ask
her out? Did you guys start texting?
I went super in depth and bare
Like, well, I remember
bore
when
my
she was
heart.
15. I thought she was really
on this
hot, and
podcast.
now we're married.
So I could give a little. I should write a book called "How to Get a Girl in 7 Years." Okay, you've heard that the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10. I could write a book called "How to Get a Girl in 7 Years" because I had a 7-year plan. She did not have interest in me at first, and it wasn't a problem. I just kept digging. I just kept pursuing, and we dated other people along the way throughout that. But eventually, I wooed her, and she was all
right there, baby.
She was all in. I put a ring on it, and yeah. Is that detail enough?
Yeah, that's better.
Nope, keep going. I'm just kidding.
Brooke and I met, I think 5 years ago now, on social media. We had followed each other online, and she was a young person doing music, and I was a young person doing music, particularly in the faith-based realm of music. And I had a show in Nashville, and I think we had known each other for like 2 months, just social media. We didn't really talk much, but I finally got their numbers, and I was like, hey, I'm coming to Nashville, let's meet. And I had a show in Nashville at Rocketown, and the day before that show, we had a little performance at the Opry Mills Mall. So she came to the mall with her sister and mom. We met there, hung out for that whole day. I couldn't stop talking about how tall I was for some reason. And I wasn't very tall. I was like 5'11". I wasn't even as tall as I am now. And the whole time she came up, I was like, hey, how you doing? And then we were like taking a picture together. I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so tall. It's just like a thing. I don't know why. I think
Some things never change.
And so I was nervously talking about that. I was on my phone the whole time because I was nervous, and didn't really leave a good first impression. And they came to my show the next day, and she thought I was kind of cute, but it wasn't really much going there. So we kept acquaintances. She went with me to my senior prom, which was like 6 or 7 months later. That was really sweet. And then we separated. We didn't really go any further than that. I dated somebody, which then she dated someone, and that kind of started our crazy story that would take too long to recap on this podcast. But we started dating 11 months ago, and it'll be a year in July. So.
It's cool, man.
Very cool.
Excited. Cool.
Very cool. How did she get to Nashville? What brought her here?
She moved here when she was like 13 for music as well, doing a bunch of different things. And yeah, so she's been here longer than I have. And then I met her.
And why did you come to Nashville?
Yeah. I was
Join a
doing a
band or
music
something?
thing before this, and then Anthem brought me here
Then
permanently.
we wooed him.
And then
How to get a bandmate in 7 years.
Nice.
So I met Kelsey 5 years ago. Is that right? Man. Yeah. So I was in Anthem Lights. We had a drummer whose name was Joe. And we were either on our way back from a show or coming back or on our way to a show. And he mentioned in passing, he's like, hey, did you hear about this new girl group that Sony is putting together? And I was like, no, well, tell me about that. So it goes this new group, One Girl Nation, whatever. But I've been hanging out with them, and they're really cool, and you should, you guys should come get to know them. I was like, okay, cool. So a couple weeks later, he hits me up and he's like, hey, they're having a Halloween party tonight. You guys should come by. And I was like, it's October 24th. Like, why are they having a Halloween party? Apparently they had a show on Halloween. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but they're having this Halloween party. I didn't have a costume. You were there. We go to this thing. It's just the 5 of these girls. They're dressed as the Spice Girls, obviously. And basically us and Joe. And we're like, okay, cool. Sweet party, guys. But that's where I met Kelsey, and she was dressed as Ginger Spice because at the time she had really red hair. And I remember being very attracted to her, but I don't know if I'm saying too much. Joe, this guy, he was also interested at the time, and so I was like, dude, I'm pretty into this girl. Like, is it cool if like I pursue her? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I asked her out, and she said yes, and we went out, and we had a great time. I took her to, actually, we had a ballroom dance lesson with your brother.
With
Joey's
my brother.
Donald teaches dance lessons, or did.
Nice.
And so we did that, and I found out through talking with her that her favorite movie was Aladdin, and so we learned the Bolero from Aladdin, so that was cool. And then we came back to the place where I was living at the time, and we watched Aladdin, so it was like a nice little thematic date.
That's adorable.
Yeah, so cute, right?
That's
And they had 2 babies. the
slap
next day.
5 with me one time.
I don't know what is happening
I just
here.
wanted to slap 5.
Slap
That was a
fives,
good
dog.
day.
Everyone
We're gonna
slap
end on the 5
fives.
and 9.
Slap
Slap 5.
There it is
Have
again.
a lollipop.
I'm not
I'm gonna
partaking
say
in
that in every episode. And then, so the date went well. I sensed that she was into it. But then she stopped being like there was some hesitation on her end, and I didn't really know why. And I kept asking her out, and she kept saying yes. But then we would hang out, and I felt some hesitation. And so she basically ended up sharing with me without going into too much detail that she wasn't ready to be in a relationship, that she had some things to work on in her life that she wanted to focus on, and I respected that. So I just stopped approaching her altogether. And then a few months later, she like called me. She's like, hey, I think I'm ready now, if you're still interested. And I was like, yeah, heck yeah. So then we became official in, I think, like February of 2013. Got engaged in November of 13, and married in July of 14. And now we're pregnant with our second baby.
What a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question. Thanks, boys. Good stories. Casey Muriel Mahesh, I think is how you say it, all the way from Abu Dhabi.
Amazing.
That is so cool.
Super cool. Casey, thank you for your question. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm probably not. Anyway, Casey wants to know, what is our favorite food and why? Speed round, Caleb, go.
Pizza, because there's cheese on it, usually.
Spencer.
Skip, I gotta think.
Oh, speed round, broken. Japanese food. Anything Japanese. Steakhouse. Boom.
Ooh, I feel like this is a great opportunity for me to make the announcement.
Oh,
So-
here we go.
So I've been vegan
You were the one who
for
wanted to do the quick round.
I've been
Here we
vegan
are.
for about 6
can't
months,
help it.
and I love it.
We hate it. We hate it.
Anyway, pizza's still my favorite food.
I actually look forward to the podcast because that's the one place I know you won't talk about veganism.
I know, and here it is.
And here
I'm
we are.
officially out there as a vegan.
My
It's
girlfriend is
official.
vegan, so I
Here we go. I'm
empathize.
just kidding.
I'm with
Let's
you.
slap
Slap
fives on
5.
that one.
I'm
All
9 days paleo, and it's the opposite.
Nobody
of vegan.
cares,
Complete
Chad.
opposite,
Nobody
It's just the
cares.
complete,
It's the complete opposite,
of
Chad.
vegan.
You're an animal. Just kidding.
I love Mexican food.
Okay, Japanese and Mexican is not
Tacos.
food. What do you like?
I like tacos and
I like
fajitas.
fried rice with chicken and steak in it.
That's that's such a boring. I feel
Okay,
like I have a
speed
better
round.
food.
Speed round over. I'm gonna call an audible and add my own question to this speed round because I like how this feels.
Okay.
I want to know from Joey Stamper in Nashville, Tennessee, what are you guys currently obsessed with? Super
Food-wise?
superficial. No, just anything in general.
Obsessed with.
Okay, I can answer this. So,
Go. Speed round.
first of all, I have a problem. I get on these tangents. I get, like, seriously, I get on kicks. It's all kinds of, like, random things. It could be U.S. history. It could be, like, superheroes. It could be, well, right now it's Star Wars. I saw Solo the other night. Loved it. Next night I watched Rogue One. And now I want to, like, order all the Star Wars movies and, like, yeah. So,
yes.
Nice Star Wars.
Caleb
Spencer.
has been getting into all the things that like.
Yeah,
we
like
love.
a month ago, it still is this, but a month ago it was like Marvel. After seeing Avengers, and I was like, okay, now I gotta like, get all the comic books, and yeah, I'm a nerd.
I've had a serious gaming kick, just playing video games, specifically Fortnite. I've gotten very good at that game.
I can attest to that. He's very good.
And just other games like Battlefield. There's a lot of new games coming out this year, so I'm like replaying some old ones that are like the sequels to them, and I'm so excited. So gaming has been my kick lately.
Love it.
My thing lately has, and man, I don't even want to say this publicly, but here it goes.
Oh, no.
My thing
This is a safe place.
is Legos.
Yes.
As nerdy as that sounds,
Yes, Chad.
I have gotten really into specifically Star Wars Legos. Guys, for my birthday, I got the 7,500 piece Millennium Falcon, and it is like as big as this room. Not really, but I've literally been working on it slowly for months, and I still have a while to go. It's like building a building. It's insane. And it's not for
Like a
kids.
There's
It's not a
construction
kid
workers
thing.
listen to this like, this guy doesn't.
I put on a construction hat, everything. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's been my my weird kick.
My current obsession is this vegan frozen pizza.
Gotta go back to vegan.
There it is.
Can't
Is
help
it-
it.
I'm
Okay.
obsessed
Is
with
it
it.
the Daya?
I buy it once a week. Yeah,
I've had
Daya
one.
Supreme frozen
New game.
pizza.
Can Joey not
I
talk
love
about
it.
veganism?
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's
all I'm
cool,
gonna
but I
say.
feel like we stumbled into a new segment called Geek Out, right?
Geek out.
Yeah. So what? Yeah.
So let's talk about the thing that we're interested in from a media. Like, what are we into?
Okay.
What are you obsessed with, media-wise?
A documentary about
I don't want to
veganism.
say it because I'm really bad at it, and Spencer's really good. But I've played Fortnite like 3 times.
Yes.
And it finally hooked me this last time. And I'm so bad to the point where when I get on my PlayStation, I will make myself appear offline because I want to play with my friends because I'm embarrassed.
But have you played like your own games, like solo games?
One time, yeah, I played one solo game and I was terrible. Actually, I got 15th, which I felt pretty good about.
That's not terrible.
That's not awful.
Out of
Did you get a
100.
kill?
I did get killed. That's how I died.
Oh, you got killed, but you didn't get a kill.
Oh, I didn't get a kill. I hid the whole time.
Okay.
I actually found something that covered me in a bush.
It's a bush.
Oh yeah, it was a bush. I was running around and I like perched.
So you're
That's called a
running.
bush.
So you're running around bush, like you put the bush.
Yeah,
outfit
I
on?
wore a bush.
Good.
And then
got you.
I died because somebody, I guess, found me out. And I was just sitting there like, they can't see me, and they shot me.
I can attest to this. We were driving back from a Caleb and Kelsey show last night, and I looked over, and he was like, earbuds in, like playing Fortnite as well.
Yeah.
on your phone.
On the phone. It's not as
Yes.
good. It's not as good on the
No,
phone,
it's
but it's
really
still fun.
really hard.
Anyway,
And this has been a segment called Geek Out. With
geek
Anthem
out.
Lights.
Ooh, one
I'm
last
curious.
question.
Does your character like does he eat meat?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely
Just wanna
not.
make sure.
Do you hunt? Surely you don't kill animals in this game.
Me? No. Only people. I'm just kidding. Okay, one last question. All the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Chad
far.
wants to know, where can I get some Anthem Lights merch?
Well, Chad from Nashville, Tennessee. You're a smart guy for that question.
Shameless plug.
So you can get anything Anthem Lights merchandise related at anthemlights.com/shop. And we have that question a lot. A lot of people aren't even aware that exists. We have, if you like hard copy CDs, we have all the music we've really ever
What's
done
that?
on a CD. I know. On a CD, you know, where you take a disc and you put it into a CD player and you know, that old school thing.
Like the
Really
Spotify
selling
logo.
it.
We have
Like the Spotify
They're
logo?
clunky and obnoxious.
We have
Check 'em out.
T-shirts, we have autograph stuff. So if you don't get to see us in shows and you want an autograph from us, we have a lot of stuff that we pre-signed and a lot of cool stuff. So check that out.
Check it out.
Great question, Chad.
Thanks.
Great
Good
answer,
question,
Chad.
Thanks, man.
And this has been Anthem Lights Around the Horn.
That was not gonna stick.
I don't know if it's gonna stick. Thank you guys so much for joining our podcast today. If you guys want to ask us any more questions, send them to the anthemlights@gmail.com email address, and we'll be sure to add them to our Q&A section next time. What do you guys learn today? Joey, give me something you learned.
I learned that my bandmate Chad is a child. And he loves Legos.
Yes.
I'm just kidding, bro. But I did learn about Chad's Lego obsession.
I learned.
I love you, Chad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I got one coming back at you. I learned for the first time ever that Joey's a vegan. I had no idea.
Yeah, I've never said that
I
before.
never talked
Do we
about
have to turn the
that
I
one
learned
time.
segment into insults?
Well, he started it.
I'm sorry.
He started it.
Yeah, I did.
Mom, he started it. Go ahead, Spencer.
I'll make this a little nicer. Joey, I learned that you met your girlfriend Jewel at an Anthem Lights show.
Did.
That's pretty neat.
That is
Pretty cool.
That's pretty neat right there.
You're welcome.
You have.
So when this band
So we can take credit
crashes
for that.
and burns, I'll still have something valuable that came from it.
Absolutely.
you just made.
Still turned it into an insult.
And we're back to the insults.
I'm just trying to be
guys.
nice, Joe.
What were we saying, Chad?
I was saying you just made every fan out there like feel hopeful that some band that they love that they will meet him and they
Exactly.
will fall in love. Like you made everybody.
You inspire.
You guys can
You made
still
everybody-
be with Shawn Mendes. It's possible. Go to his shows.
Did you just call yourself Shawn Mendes?
Wow.
No, well-
How pompous of
No.
you, dude.
I'm like the older, way less attractive, way less successful version of Shawn Mendes.
Wow. I don't
Okay.
see you like that at all.
I can't
Just
stop
trash your
insulting
image.
people, including myself. I gotta go.
Caleb, what'd you learn?
I learned you can play Connect 4 through text messaging.
That's dope. We're gonna
I'll
need
teach
a
you
lesson
guys
on
how.
that.
If you're
Pretty
listening, I
fun.
just did a
Yeah,
mind
Jewel,
blowing
you're gonna teach us.
thing.
Social media for the band, you guys can follow us on Instagram at Anthem Lights Band, and then everything else is at Anthem Lights. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything else. Where can we find us individually though? Joey, what's your socials?
Instagram, Twitter is Joseph Stamper. Once again, very official. And my Facebook fan page is Joey Stamper Official, I think. Which is Joey Stamper. Caleb, is that what it is? Thanks, man.
Dad, what is it?
I'm a huge fan of Joey's Facebook page.
Caleb or Chad? Sorry.
What are you gonna move for?
This is
Where can
going
we
well.
find you on your socials?
Oh, personal socials.
Personal
my bad.
socials,
Chad M. Graham is my Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? That's all you want to promote?
My Facebook, but no one really uses the @ thing, right?
No.
No.
It's just Chad Graham.
Chad Graham artist page. Go there.
Great. My Instagram is Spencer Kane Music. Twitter's I am Spencer Kane, and then everything else is Spencer Kane.
And I am at Caleb Grimm.
Sweet.
Sweet. Well, thanks.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for
Very
joining.
much.
Love you guys.
This was fun.
This has been the Anthem Light Show.
Hey, if you are on the podcast app, make sure you leave a
Rating.
review and the 5 stars. If you thought our podcast was 5 stars, that'd be really helpful. But yeah, make sure you leave a review, subscribe, and we'll join you next time.
Outro music, go.
No, it's you. We're better together, better together, better together.